Hello and welcome to this session, Which Database is Right for Your Use Case? My name is Erika. I am Data Product Marketer with OVH Cloud, and I'm here today with Heikki from Aiven. Hello, Heikki.
Hello, Erika. My name is Heikki, and I'm a CTO and co-founder at Aiven. Pleased to be here.
Great. Heikki, can you introduce Aiven for us and tell us how you came to create this database as a service leader?
Yes, so Aiven is a software as a service company. We are on a mission to bring the best open source data management technologies in the hands of developers and in the hands of business. Really to let developers truly focus on business value creation and building great application on this technology that we love. We offer 10 different open source technologies in data management area. So we picked the best solutions for a range of different use cases, and we want to offer these as services on several public clouds.
Great. And on our side at OVH Cloud, we support our customers in their data journey with a number of public cloud services, and starting especially with platform services. And we cover a number of databases, relational ones and non-relational ones. Heikki will come back on the different use cases in a few minutes. And we really want to bring our customers all the tools to develop awesome apps. We want, in this partnership, to really provide a trusted cloud to developers. So, Heikki, can you tell us a bit more what we share in terms of values and what is driving our partnership?
Yes, and I wanna begin with saying that we're really happy to be able to partner with OVH Cloud, and I think we are both very well aligned in our quest on being able to help our customers to be successful in their cloud journey, helping companies with their data processing needs. I think the two companies that we share very similar views and values on open source and the kind of need to remain in control of your own data and your data processing activities. Both of the companies share view and understanding on what does it mean to operate under European privacy and compliance expectation. And I think both of our companies, we have a great deal of experience in operating these setups, both the databases and the infrastructure, and we are thus in a very good position to help our customers to accelerate their journey with utilizing cloud and utilizing data as part of the core business.
Indeed. I am not a database administrator nor a developer, but it seems that managing a database by yourself on-prem makes it quite difficult to scale. Can you explain us what exactly database management involves in terms of tasks and constraints?
Certainly, yes. So managing databases and, well, for all stateful systems in a manner that's reliable, it does require some specific expertise. But even more than expertise and skills, it does require time and resources. So ensuring that these services remain available and online at all times, that the services are backed up on a regular cadence, that we have confidence that we can also restore those backups if needed, they all take effort. Making sure that everything is updated and have the latest software patches on a regular cadence, and then of course monitoring the systems around the clock and having the capability to respond and react to any anomalies in that setup. That's a fair amount of work. And this is exactly the area where we feel that we can help and we can ease the burden on businesses and developers, and really let the developers focus on application development where the business value really is derived from.
Indeed. Now let's dive into some use cases. Let's start with relational databases, MySQL and PostgreSQL. What can you tell us about these two, Heikki?
No. I'll just begin that with Ivan. We cater for or we have an offering of kind of comprehensive solutions. So we have multiple different databases and database systems for the reasons that we believe that different use cases, different business challenges require different solutions. That there's no one solution to cater for everything. But with that said, the part of our core offering is indeed these relational databases, and they are familiar technology to many, and they've been there for quite some time now. Also, where Ivan's story started. Relational databases are kind of a common solution. They offer good facilities for data storage and retrieval. They implement like transactional safety, management of concurrent clients and queries, and atomicity, things that give guarantees on users or applications seeing the consistent view of data, and something that is quite intuitive from a design perspective. So this model is really, really good for almost all generic workloads. Implementing like an online store, for example, and with the user order and inventory management, it's quite possible to implement everything on top of a relational database.
Okay, very clear. Thank you, Heikki. Now, if we move to non-relational databases, starting with MongoDB, which is a bit specific, and we have a dedicated partnership with MongoDB, but talking about Cassandra, OpenSearch, which is the open source version of Elasticsearch, and Redis. What can you tell us about these databases, Heikki?
Yes. So we do support multiple non-relational or non-SQL databases as well. And these are typically used when we are reaching cases where data volumes or data velocities, number of queries, become greater than what a kind of traditional database can handle. These solutions tend to be distributed or clustered to have a scale of high number of reads or writes, or high number of concurrent clients. This is usually or these properties often need that we need to relax some of the transactional guarantees that we had from the relational databases. So they typically may need some design from application, but if allowed for workload and if required by workload, they are very efficient building blocks in data architecture. Perhaps just starting on OpenSearch, that's a search and analytics suite working on a document or an object level, with the most common use case perhaps being at log management. So being able to ingest a large number of log entries as objects, and being able to do analytics or retrieval based on fields that we didn't necessarily kind of define in advance. So that's a powerful setup for that kind of workloads. Application search is another quite common use case. Apache Cassandra specifically targets on being distributed and fault tolerant database to deal with extremely high rates of writes and queries. So works perfectly in use cases where we can model everything around key value parameters, and for example, if we are dealing with hundreds of millions of customer records, that we can store and retrieve the customer record in one key value pair. These technologies, all of them, they do have their trade-offs. So it's kind of something that needs to be understood. They might not implement all the locking and concurrency that maybe traditional relational databases do, but then on the other hand, they can then sustain rates of hundreds of millions of reads and writes that the traditional systems perhaps didn't cope with.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you, Heikki. Now moving to Apache Kafka. This one is good for queuing. Can you clarify a bit what queuing is?
I would say queuing and message delivery. So over the years, we've seen a significant adoption of Apache Kafka in the data processing pipelines with our customers. And Apache Kafka is a streaming platform that finds use cases in real-time data processing and message delivery. It makes a great centerpiece of a data-driven architecture and allows one to break down those data processing activities into smaller steps or smaller microservices. Each of those working on a small isolated bit of the problem. Kafka is an excellent counterpart and in combination with relational NoSQL databases or storage, having perhaps those events flowing through Kafka and then having state or facts stored for online queries in complementing solutions. And maybe just as an example, all of Ivan internal messaging flows through Apache Kafka. So that's a standard message bus that we are very, very happy with.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you. And the last ones we have are M3 and Grafana for time series and visualization. What are they specific for, these ones?
So M3 is a time series database, and time series databases excel at collecting metrics or numeric measurements in a very efficient, in a very space and query efficient manner. So this could be application measurements or IoT device measurements on flow rates, on traffic amounts, or say just temperature readings. And then time series databases make a collection of a lot of these metrics space efficient. This other side part of this is then Grafana that offers visualization capabilities on top of time series database as well, other databases as well, but essentially provide insights and make information out of perhaps the core data that we store in time series databases.
Okay, thank you. What is for you the value of this open source ecosystem for database as a service? What do you see as advantages?
So the main value from open source does come from having the absolute control over your own data and data processing activities, having the guaranteed access to be able to continue processing of your data as you best see fit. That's for me. That's number one. Business agility that brings or comes from utilizing open source, essentially being able to start with the technology without upfront commitments or surprises down the line. And it allows one to try out things and experiment and see what works in action.
Okay, and I would like to compliment about the transparent and predictable pricing, because that's something that we highly value at OVH Cloud, and that is, of course, very true for these database as a service offerings. So, as a conclusion, what would be the key takeaways, and what do we have to remember about database as a service, Heikki?
Yes. So I would mention first that using open source databases is a great future-proof choice, just for that maintaining that your own control over your own data. Utilizing managed services enables your developers or allows your developers to really focus on what's the core business value and then respond to changing business needs faster. We're very proud to be able to partner with OVH Cloud and offer a wide range of technology solutions to really cater for all kinds of different use cases and also to make sure that when the scale goes up, we have technical solutions to offer to help business move forward. And I believe that with this partnership, you can really trust that your databases and infrastructure are maintained around the clock by the experts at OVH Cloud and Aven.
Indeed. So, to conclude, what would be the value generated by this ecosystem, again, according to you?
Yes. So at Ivan, we're really on a mission. Our mission is to really make these open source data technologies as widely usable as possible. So we're really happy to partner with OVH Cloud to be able to improve our reach and to be in position to be able to help more and more customers and help those customers be successful with their business projects.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Heikki. Thank you for being with us and watching us. Please feel free to reach out should you have any question to Heikki or myself. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.